slasher scenes, fears in tow. Back to the future, hop in the DeLorean. Night Rider cruising, man, there's no ignoring them. Battlestar Galactica, what a ride. Looney Tunes antics, pure joy inside. Blockbusters ruled, we lined up for days. Video games booted up in their pixelated maze. Movie marathons and popcorn nights, we ruled the screen, living in the lights. It's time to kick it old school, turn the clocks back, break the rules. When the pixels pop and the world was cool, we're taking it back, that's how we roll, we roll. It's time to kick it old school, where the beats are fresh, the tech was gold. From arcades to TV shows that ruled, you know we're kicking it old school. Grab your joystick, the game's about to start. A high-score world, now that's an art. We're cruising on hoverboards, living our dream. Old school forever, we're igniting the scene. It's time to kick it old school, turn the clocks back, break the rules. When the pixels pop and the world was cool, we're taking it back, that's how we roll, we roll. It's time to kick it old school, where the beats are fresh, the tech was gold. From arcades to TV shows that ruled, you know we're kicking it old school.
Cabinets. Just say FU to the one-up with the GRS Build-A-Cade FU, a full-scale arcade machine built to swap from fighter sticks to spinners to trackballs in seconds. Real parts, real size.
Right here, let's see. I think we're good. Glenn, say something.
Oh,
Yeah, I think we're good. So, typical fashion. I wasn't going to do this, then it was, then it wasn't, because so many people are doing it anyway. And then I accidentally deleted my stream key right when I was going to go live. I had to get everything reconnected, and one camera failed. So it's a typical GRS presentation. So I want to thank.
It could be worse. You know, you and your complaints. I'm not on camera because I'm gushing blood from a nose surgery today. Okay, so
yes.
It could be worse.
So Glenn is here. I asked him to come on. I totally forgot he had surgery. So we got a picture of him and his dog. And we have a bunch of people here in the chat.
It's not me. That's Santa and
Santa. Oh, I'm sorry,
Paws.
Santa.
And Santa Paws.
The Santa Paws.
You know.
Actually, one of my son Cole's favorite movies was Santa Paws on here. Well, that's kind of what I wanted to do here. You know, oh man, where to begin? So Glenn, in typical fashion, that Glenn over there never sleeps. So sometime in the middle of the night last night, he's telling me that Arcade 1-Up is going to be mostly shutting its doors tomorrow. I'm going to call that Good Friday. I know it's not really Good Friday, but I'm going to call it Good Friday. So, you know, this is a kind of a show to kind of reflect on everything. I know a lot of the other YouTubers have already done so. You know, they started talking about all these things. And I don't want this to be a gloating thing. I don't want it to be that. But am I happy about it? On one side of the coin, I am. Of course, there are some people who've lost their jobs, you know, over this, and I don't want anyone, you know, to lose their jobs. But I also know some people didn't lose their jobs because I'm saying, I don't know if it's true or not, but I do believe that Basic Fun, who is basically Arcade 1-Up 2.0, I think they've appropriated at least some of the employees for sure. I can definitely say some employees went from Arcade 1-Up over to Basic Fun. So the spirit, I guess, of what Arcade 1-Up was is going to be moved over to Basic Fun. Glenn, what do you think about that?
Yeah, but I don't know if that's going to be an improvement. I mean, we look at the Gen 1 cabs that already came out, and there's already issues that seem like it's a step backwards, that they haven't learned from all the mistakes that Arcade 1-Ups made over the years. So, that, and the other thing is that they seem to have less games in some cases. So I don't know. Is it an improvement?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm reading these comments. These guys always put great comments down there. So here's the thing, from my perspective anyway. So, Arcade 1-Up did start in 2018, right? And a lot of the other YouTubers have already said this, and I really can't say no. They kind of kickstarted this. Now, was there a home arcade before Arcade 1-Up? Absolutely. Were there people building machines? Absolutely. Did Arcade 1-Up get the community put maybe more in the public spotlight?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they brought it to the masses in a way that,
Yeah.
I mean, they revolutionized
like
initial
the Earth being created in the Bible in the beginning. It was good. It was good. They were caught by surprise because it was a toy for 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds that turned out that the big adults liked. So they capitalized on it, and that's when it became, I can't even say a cash grab, because I can't think of any company that wasn't selling a product like Cabbage Patch Dolls, things along those lines, Teddy Ruxpin, that was a surprising hit, caught everyone off guard.
I mean, they were everywhere. You couldn't turn on like any kind of tech review thing without holiday thing online, on TV without seeing them show up.
Right. So those are the good parts. So they capitalized on it, and they built up the Arcade 1-Up name and brand, right? It's a big name and brand. But the long part of the story is Arcade 1-Up in the beginning and the middle of the story were synonymous with home arcades. Like saying, when I was growing up, no matter what game console you had, it was Atari. Whether it was a Coleco, it was Atari. Then it became Nintendo. It didn't matter what it was. So when people would talk about home arcades, you talked about Arcade 1-Up. The problem, I think, the first part of their downfall is they got way too cocky, number one. They started overcharging for what you got. They didn't really improve the product. Now, of course, Star Wars Tron's a couple of examples that they did a really good job on.
Really good cabinets, I think, that they released. I like the Golden Axe one. I think is really well done.
And people forget about that one. Actually, that one was actually a good. Right, that was a good one. So
there were a few,
They have done it.
Golden T Deluxe, I think, was good, except for the screen was shit. You had to replace it, but
Right. So the problem was they were taking too hard a cash grab. They were charging way too much. People were still buying it, but they were still cheap and expensive to make, and a high profit margin. I know people are saying they're going to pay. They're going to buy the licenses. Truth. They do. But do you really think Atari Asteroids and Centipede and Tempest were getting big bucks for licenses? No. Now, maybe NBA Jam or Golden Axe, those type of games might have. But still, the simple fact is you were getting a very inexpensive, cheap PCB in a metal case that was going to overheat and burn out the PCB. A lot of times, bad monitors, bad controllers, and so forth. But the thing is, what Glenn said before, and Glenn usually drags these things out, is now basic fun is going to be Arcade 1-Up 2.0. And it's in their name. Basic fun, meaning as basic as it could be, but still fun. So I can't fault them for that. But the quality is definitely not going to be better than Arcade 1-Up. In fact, I could say it could be possibly the other way, especially from the machines that have come out right now.
Yeah.
So when people saying, Glenn, take a victory lap, I don't take, and I never wanted to take victory in a way of a company and people losing their jobs. No, I definitely didn't want to do that. Do I have any love for Arcade 1-Up? Again, you guys know I don't at all. They've definitely done a ton of things to me, and never once did an apology or anything come out of that other than being sneaky. So that's the thing with karma, right? That is just karma. It caught up with them. They burned me. They burned a lot of other people too. People have bought their products, and what gets me, Glenn, and tell me if I'm wrong here as well, when you spend $500 or $600 on something, I totally get you could buy a $100,000 car and you're going to spend another $10,000 on modding it. So
Yeah.
I do get that. But the simple fact is they were way overcharging because I knew people were going to buy these things.
Yeah.
And again, everyone's at your own money. Me personally, the way I like to do business is I want to give you more value, more than what you expected to pay for. So I can sleep well knowing when people buy my stuff that I know they got something better than they expected and it's quality. And that is not what Arcade 1-Up is doing. And I don't think you can get that from Basic Fun either.
Yeah.
What do you think?
The thing is, I think with Arcade 1-Up, the biggest issue is that they lost track of their core fan base, and I think they blew up because of that core fan base. And they really lost track of that. And then they started putting out stuff that wasn't of interest, got cheaper. They started cutting corners. And they started, and then just their customer service got terrible. There were so many issues. I mean, we could spend another hour just talking about that they really tainted their name. I mean, look at the whole fiasco around Marvel versus Capcom 2, with online play. And that even begs a big question now. And I mean, not to jump off on a tangent, but what's going to happen with them shuttering their doors to all these games that have online play, like Marvel versus Capcom 2? If, let's say, they're bought by Basic Fun, is Basic Fun going to keep those servers alive? Or now do you have a giant paperweight with some of these games, things that, look at the football game, right? I mean, what's going to happen
that's a valid
to
point,
all those
Glenn.
online servers?
And that's a valid point.
I've heard from a good authority that there are people out there working on mods, like peer-to-peer mods, to get these cabinets going. But the average person that has these out there is not going to do that.
Right, and that's something I totally forgot about too.
In stores, and people are going to walk in Walmart, maybe buy it for their kids for Christmas or something, has online player leaderboards, not knowing that they're shuttering their doors on Friday.
Right, and that's a good point. And that's another problem with modern gaming, which is why I really don't do any of it. I like having my content. I like having control of my content. And we have online servers. Like right now, here's another example, off topic, Wemo. Wemo is light switches from Belkin. I've been using it for 10 years. Come January, too bad, so sad, we're shutting off the servers. I have like 30 of their devices I got to replace, light switches.
I have a few too. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they're shutting down their servers. And then it's like, we're so sorry. That's the problem when you do stuff with the cloud. I have some old web cameras which have their own built-in web server. So as long as I forward my ports, I can use those cameras and things like that.
Right.
But there's the problem that comes out with the modern thing. These big companies want you into their ecosystem. They want you to spend that money and get in. Then they disappear, and you got a paperweight when you're done.
Yep. Well, look at that games. I mean, the money I've invested on their tables for their pinball games. If they ever went belly up, you would hope in good faith, that they would unlock all the tables so they're playable on there without having to.
But they won't do that. They won't do that because I'm sure the licenses that they set up.
What happened with blanking? Oh, come on, that went out of business. You built the
Ikari.
Ikari didn't do that. I mean, there'll probably be somebody that will mod after the fact, but
Ikari totally locked down their system.
Yeah,
it was completely locked down. It was Team and Mystery Encoder who was able to open that up and help everyone.
That's what I'm saying. There'll be modders that'll probably do it with the ALP, but it just sucks that if it comes to that,
But that's the thing. So, like overall, a lot of people in the Arcade 1-Up community have had to mod their machines regardless. I mean, some people don't, but I would say comfortably 85% have or do or want to. So, converting over to Raspberry Pi, or maybe I'm even thinking about the idea if we make a daughter board for the Viper where you can connect your Arcade 1-Up screen, controllers, and so forth, and you replace their PCB with the Viper, kind of like I did with Ikari. Now, don't hold me down to that. But it's something I'm thinking about because there are millions and millions of things of these machines out there that are going to start dying. So if I can make a simple board for the Viper and you connect your Arcade 1-Up display and keyboards to it, and there you go.
Well, I was going to say, doesn't Buy Stuff Store do something like that now for like their mods? Isn't along the lines of that?
See, I'm sorry. I was reading. I was reading James Hates Everything. I was
I was gonna
watching my
say,
little pics of myself. I just
isn't
saw
the
that
buy
video.
stuff store mods similar to like the way that, because they, that when you mod an arcade one up with their game box,
Yeah, I
doesn't it
guess it's
work
very
along that?
similar. I guess it's
Yeah,
very
it
similar.
uses the built-in monitors and well, I don't know if you swap the controls out in some cases. I don't know. No, or no, I think you do leave the controls in, because like with the outrun mods and stuff like that, you're leaving in the controls and all, and the Ridge Racer mods. So yeah, it could be done.
So it's an idea. So if there is one already, I don't remember seeing it, but I think you're right that the buy stuff store has done that already. Then there's something already out there. But
Yeah,
that's the point. That's kind
I'm
of what
sure
people will
they'll
be
jump
left.
on it for sure.
Yeah,
I
I'm
guarantee
sure.
it.
But like you said, there's definitely product out there now that people buy and put under the Christmas tree, and they're going to try and get on those
Yeah.
leaderboards. Now, it's entirely possible. Don't know that Basic Fun is buying all those things. Now, I heard through the grapevine that that's the case. The only thing that's up in the air is their game table, the Infinity game
Right.
table. That one might be left in the cold. Again,
Yeah.
just from hearing. I can't say for sure, but I've kind of heard that the other devices like online potentially will go over to Basic Fun if I'm hearing from my sources right.
Yeah.
But what's up in the air is the game table. Whatever's on that Infinity game table might be just what it is or not.
Right.
Who knows?
Interesting. Yeah, I think there was a big discount on those not long ago too, which doesn't surprise me now in lieu of this.
Right. Right. So again, I'm not totally shocked. I personally think Arcade 1-Up has been dead for well over a year, and it just took this long for the corpse to get up to the brain and get out there. But again, the key people have been jumping ship anyway. We know key people from Arcade 1-Up went to Basic Fun. I mean, we know that. So there's something been brewing for a while. Now, Glenn, how many Arcade 1-Ups do you still have?
I have the Star Wars, Golden Tee Deluxe, Golden Axe, Miss Pac-Man. I have a modded Rampage, Tempest, Ridge Racer, and Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Now I'm looking to sell the Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the Ridge Racer, probably the Tempest. I'm gonna, that I mod it with your trackball. Definitely the modded Rampage. Those for sure. I want to sell.
Yeah, me personally,
and most of those, mind you, I got when they had those really crazy low discount sales and stuff like that. So I never paid full price on any of those.
I have the Tron, obviously, and we don't know why I got that one. And that was actually gifted supposedly by BCon, Console Kits, and these other guys. Supposedly they sent it. So that's what they told me anyway. And I got the Star Wars unit. I purchased that one because I needed to make the yoke work with it. So I have that one. I still have my original Asteroids, and that Asteroids came pre-built. This was one of the first ones that came to the States, and they felt that the end user, were too dumb to assemble these things, and originally they were going to send them built.
I never knew that they had pre-built ones. Was that just like limited, or was that like
no? It was
it
actually went out to the influencers first. So the influencers got them, and a large. It was the same packaging, but pre-built. You just took it out, and it was built because they felt we were too dumb to put these together. That was what they said anyway. And of course, they went to the flat packs. And I'll still say this to this friggin' day. I have gotten machines. I've probably had at my maximum. I had like 30 Arcade 1-Ups. I had packaging that was pristine. Opened it up. The particle board was damaged. The artwork was damaged. It was scratched. So that didn't happen in shipping. That happened at the factory. They didn't care. It was a toy, get it out the door type of stuff. So those are the things that always bothered me and caused a lot of friction between me and them. Because I'm like, listen, if you're going to start charging $300-$400 for these things, it's got to get here better. You got to have better controllers in there. These things can't burn out so quick. They don't want to hear it. They wanted to push out, get in, get the cash as quick as they could, and that's what they did. They made a lot of money. and Scott sold it off, and then it got sold off again, and now it's the Arcade 1-Up corpse. Like I see in my center screen right there, we had the Battle of the Home Arcades. GRS, I'm still here. Arcade 1-Up, you're not. So for that, I am going to gloat a little bit, because I always told them I would be here with the community long after you guys abandoned it, and that's what they've done.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting though. Like I said, if they do transition to basic fun, do you think that they would keep the name out there for any kind of brand
Personally,
recognition?
I
Because
think the
I think
Arcade
it's
1-Up
tainted
name.
with.
I think the Arcade 1-Up name is too tainted.
Yeah, but think about it though. It's tainted for us in this community, which is kind of a niche community. But for the average person walking to Walmart, they don't know that's bought them unless you really.
Well, that's the
follow,
thing.
like,
They're going to know either
like
way.
most of
So
us.
whether you have Arcade 1-Up's name on it or Basic Fun's name on it, the basic person walking into Walmart's not going to know the difference. So the name of Arcade 1-Up's going to mean nothing. And the community already is going to know that Arcade 1-Up products is now being sold by Basic Fun. So again, the name only has negativity attached to it. Abusing community members. Telling people it's your fault, it's not my product. That's the problem. End user sucks. Here's my correct product. It's better to let the 1-Up name be in history and move on from it.
But if Basic Fun acquires them, is it do you think it's like a guilt by association that automatically it just taints a Basic Fun instantly?
Well, for the people who don't like Arcade 1-Up already, like myself, that's still going to be there. Now, I'm going to say, I've always liked Basic Fun's products, but they were inexpensive. They were like $20 little handheld arcades. They were basic fun. That's all they were. There wasn't anything crazy to them. And I have all of them. I enjoy them. I used to mod them with pies. I have some stock, some in a box, some in a bag, some in batteries, some with that not. So for that, I like it. But if Basic Fun's going to start charging $400 or $500 for the same shit that Arcade 1-Up was already selling.
If they're acquiring those licenses that Arcade 1-Up have, do you think that whether or not they're going to start charging equivalent prices because there's been a precedent?
I don't know. And for Mike here, as far as I don't know who was still there. Well, I do know one person was still there. So there was still at least one person definitely still at 1-Up that was there from all the issues. And he's now at Basic Fun. But with that being said, I'm not going to take that over to Basic Fun. I'm just telling Basic Fun, if you're going to sell the same type of product of quality equal or not quite that of Arcade 1-Up, you got to drop your prices, because the prices they were asking for what they were selling, I can tell you right now, is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, but that person is there. One of the people that was part of the problem for sure. Definitely at Basic Fun.
Wow. Yeah, you would hope, like I said, you would hope that Basic Fun watching from, Basic Fun watching, from the, the sidelines all these years would learn from the mistakes. But like I said, when they launched their first round, it doesn't seem like they learned anything.
Well, again, Arcade 1-Up was, and still is, very popular. Whether you're on the hating side or loving side, there are millions of people on both sides of the coin. There's no question. They sold millions of units, no question. Now, whether they actually sold them to end users or they sold them to like Walmart and Costco's and they're sitting in a warehouse somewhere is a different story. I don't think I can prove, or they can prove to me, how many's actually in people's hands.
Yeah.
Selling it to a company and selling it to a closeout shop is not the same as being in people's hands. But regardless, there's still a lot of them out there.
Yeah. Well, let's look at, let's not forget too about all those sales that, you remember where people were buying these things at like basically practically nothing because Walmart had to dump them. They couldn't move them.
And I bought like 3 Space Invaders for $70. I mean, I'm not stupid. That's $70 is a good price. I had one and I gave one to Richie Knuckles. He actually drove up to my house like 2 o'clock in the morning from Jersey to pick it up. And I gave another one away. So, and I bought Asteroids. I already had one, but I went to Walmart in Connecticut. I picked 3 of those up for like $50. So when you want to mod them, it's a good starting point. And again, it was said in the chat, and they're completely right. It was a good starter drug into the community.
Gateway drug, yeah.
And I'm totally fine with that. I always had the problem with was the price that we're charging, and people are
It
throwing.
just got out of hand. That's when I stopped buying
$500-$600 of stuff that's not worth anywhere near that. Now, again, that's just me looking out for the community. I don't do that. And when I see that, when I know how much stuff costs, again, they're entitled to make a profit. But there's a point when you're making a profit and a point you're almost like price gouging. And they didn't care. That was my thing. They would tell people, oh, we care. If anyone remembers how bad customer service was, customer support was over all the beginning years, could tell you they really didn't care. They only cared when they saw their sales start to go like this. Then they cared and they made some fixes. And Star Wars and Tron and a couple other machines they make prove they could have built a better product and that price point they were charging $600 for.
Yeah. I mean, I think the price for what they did Star Wars at the time for what you got, I think it was fair. And that was one of the first more expensive cabinets too.
Well, there was a couple, even the Big Buck Hunter, even the guns you have it, the guns were squishy and bad.
Yeah.
For the technology it had, it wasn't bad. Like that one, I could say, okay, I could see the price point.
Right, I forgot I have that one too.
Right.
I was rattling off the names, yeah.
Right. Star Wars, again, the yoke was plastic, but I even told them I was at their facility in New York, went up to it, I played, I'm like, damn, you know what? It's not bad. Like for the machine, for the price, it was not bad. The Tron, barring them stealing my joystick design right out from under me and lied to my face, the rest of the cabinet, the emulation was great. The backlighting, the lighting effects were great. The cabinet design was good. The joystick was shit. They cloned a shitty joystick from me.
Yeah.
But they did a nice job. So they could absolutely do it. But they were charging way too much.
Right. Yeah, I agree. For sure.
See, Basic Fun, I think, does have an opportunity. They have an opportunity, but they have to come out with the machine better than what people already have in their hands. People already have these original Basic Fun units, like the Star Wars machine and stuff, the screen. Right. They already came out of the gate with crappy stuff, but not at a crappy price. They were still charging top dollar, and they did not put any of that into it. When you're coming out, Basic Fun's coming out with the first new products, and the communities and people know what they had already, you have to step up the game. Don't come out with a product with your name on it that's going to make people go, it's kind of still shit. That Star Wars should have came out golden. So people go, whoa, you know what? Arcade 1-Up is fading away, but Basic Fun, look at this. This is a damn good machine. It's a good first step. That is not what they released out there. And I've seen way too many reviews of the Basic Fun machines that are all saying the same thing, that they're not very good, especially the Star Wars one.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is they look like they started losing their licenses. So, I mean, you got to wonder how much of that played into the downfall too, when they started losing some of their IPs and they didn't have those kind of exclusives anymore.
Right. And again, I know a lot of people are disappointed this Christmas not getting their 15th Pac-Man release or their 13th Mortal Kombat release, but that's what Arcade 1-Up turned into. And then the cabinet designs got even shittier.
Those thin cabinets were just ridiculous.
They were horrible looking. And people like, I don't like Michael B. the Game Genie, and people like him are like, I like the artwork on the cabinet. Well, it had artwork on those cabinets. They were still shit.
Yeah.
They were crappy looking. They were just disgusting to look at. It was an embarrassment that they released that to the public. So I'm throwing down the gauntlet now. We're only a few weeks away from 2026. My cabinet will be out in 2026. So people can chew me up if they say, Glenn, you didn't release what you promised. So I know in my heart I will, but there may be people doesn't feel that way, and it's a free country. But I'm throwing down the gauntlet to Basic Fun. In 2026, either lower your prices, therefore the expectations are lower for what you're currently releasing, or step up your game and build a product worthy of $5.99, $6.99, or you're going to fail just like Arcade One-Up did.
And I mean, while we're on the topic of stuff, what do you think's happening with Iconic Arcade?
Well, that's a whole different ball of wax. So I know, John D, Iconic Arcade. I can understand. I absolutely can understand some of the challenges with the tariffs, and now with CPU and memory prices. So
yeah,
these are things
but
I'm
also
still
with
working out
Arcade
too.
One-Up going under now, do you think that kind of frees them up? Because I mean, look, it's pretty much a known thing now that there was that cease and desist. But do you think any of that stuff was resolved, or it goes away completely now?
Well, here's the thing: if Arcade One-Up itself does, first of all, a couple things. If Arcade One-Up does dissolve in the contract of Basic Fun buying them, do they carry over that stuff? Like, I'm thinking about like the NDAs. I've had an NDA signed, the very first friggin' NDA with them.
Yeah.
Mine's gonna be null and void, so I can finally really open up about things that happen in that place because I don't have to keep my mouth shut anymore. But it really depends on what in a contract Basic Fun has in appropriating what properties and what not from Arcade One. If that's the case, again, this has not been publicly said that Basic Fun is doing it. We just know that people have been jumping ship. The rats always jump first from Arcade One-Up to Basic Fun. So there's been collaboration there. We've seen how the Arcade One has been built. We've been doing that for years, about 7 years worth. And the Basic Fun units are closely like it, but they changed a few things when they're connected. So we'll have to wait and see on if in fact Basic Fun does say, you know what, we're going to take on this, and what they take. So we don't know, but I'm going to assume it's going to happen fairly soon because now this letter is out there, and this letter, of course, was not supposed to get out there, but they're smart and dumb. They're smart because they're trying to let the people know that they want to know this is what's going on because that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But people can't keep their mouth shut. Someone leaked it, and only one person has to leak it, and it was everywhere. But like when I woke up this morning, there was like 50 people talking about it. And Glenn's don't say anything. I didn't have to. It was already out there.
Yeah.
So I'll just wait and see. And he's right here. NDAs do not transfer. So the second Arcade One-Up goes like this, my NDA goes out the door. And I got stories.
Oh, I bet you a lot of stories will surface.
And you asked, but so back to the Iconic, got off track again. So I could definitely understand the challenge he's having. Now, at least he did something good here. He said, listen, I have to delay it again. I get it. But he took $150 off. Yeah. So at least he did that. So as far as that goes, John did something good by the community. He said, listen, I'm delaying again. It's like my 4th time, I think he's doing it. He took $150 off of the cabinet. So that's good. But I understand the challenges. I'm going through it every day, talking to my teams. Yeah. Memory prices are going up. I'm adding more stuff to the FU. They want to strangle me over. There's still more things I want to add. But I have to put the stake in the ground, and even to myself, I'd say not to do anymore and do it.
And everything's still on target for shipping in March?
As of right now,
receiving in March.
Shipping in March, yes. That's the target. That is the target.
So people should start to have them in their hands by April?
Yeah, it's usually a week or two to come over on the boat, and it comes into New Jersey. So unlike New Wave Toys, when it comes into California, I got to wait like a week to get my sample.
Right.
New York will get it, and New Jersey will get it first, and now it will take time to get on the other side. But the one promise I'm going to make, and I'll say this, when this thing comes out, it is going to be the best home arcade for the bang for the buck you guys will ever have had. If you see it, touch it, play it, I guarantee it's going to be the best one out there for the price. No one will touch me for the price. Although you can touch me for a price. Depends on what price that is.
Well, we already know. P-Dub said on his review last night of the Golden Tee New Wave,
yes,
that you have great balls. So
I have really good balls. That my balls are not as smooth as that, but we spent a lot of time. Again, I'm always on the details to make sure it feels right, that it plays right. Now I know the video was long, it was like 2 hours, and he started adjusting the sensitivity, and which is fine. But then he's like, oh, he started saying my ball may not have been that good, but he adjusted the sensitivity. But by the end, he got used to it. You got to pick a sensitivity so you know how to roll the ball. You can't roll the ball here.
As he rolled that ball, you could hear the difference. I mean, you could hear the
really good ball players there. That is an arcade quality trackball that I sold to New Wave Toys.
Now is that the same
unbelievable
one
price?
The FU?
The FU will not the deck that comes with it, like the what I call it, the arcade type deck.
Yeah.
That's going to be the standard trackball. But if anyone bought the Missile Command upgraded trackball,
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that is the arcade trackball that's in the New Wave Toys case.
Right. And is that the same one that's in the X Arcade also?
It is.
Okay.
It is. So people don't know that's the other thing too. I just want to put this out there again. When you think of like Arcade 1-Up, I offered them my services. They strung me along, screwed me over. Long story, you guys know it. Companies like American Gear Company, companies like New Wave Toys, companies like X Arcade, companies like Sinden Light Gun, companies like Polycade, just to name a few. Oh, and SNK, right? Just to name a few. Came to us. We sell them the stuff. They love it. And the people who get the machines love it. That's the difference. That's the difference. When you get something, you should be playing it. It almost should be the controller should be pretty much transparent. You're supposed to be focused in the game. So think about that. People are not beating down Arcade 1-Up or Basic Fun's doors for their product. People may want to buy their product. No one's beating down the doors. These people are coming to me because I want to give you arcade quality, better than quality, at an affordable price. And that's what they don't like about me, because I'm undercutting that mentality. They want to rake you guys over the coals for your pockets, where I'd rather you have that money in your pockets for your family and kids and doing other things with it. That's the difference. And as far as virtual pinball, I have plans for that, just so you guys know. So there's no... Oh, shut up. Let too many cats out of the bag.
It looks like a couple of questions in the chat.
Shoot.
So Duck 3 Dog says, can I buy one in the new year? I'm assuming that's referring to the FU. And then we also have somebody asking about the Lunar Lander control deck for FU.
Yeah, so...
And whether or not somebody else is asking if you can add... Oh, yes, you can add more controls in the FU. Yeah. Somebody's asking when we're going to get more control decks. So
well, first we got to get the FU out there. That's the first thing. FU's got to get out there. I want it to get in people's hands. And I'm going to wait for some feedback, too. I'm assuming it's going to be all good feedback. Everyone's going to love it. That's how I think, because that's how I'm putting my heart and soul into it. But I'm also open to maybe something that could be better, could be changed, like the screen rotating this way, forward, backward, 90 degrees. People said they wanted that for light guns. I incorporated it. So once the backers get their units, we will probably do runs. Like we'll say we need to get an order for 200 machines in the next 30, 60 days. We'll build those and send them out. That's probably
kind of like what you did with the extra decks for IR.
Right. It's not going to be like one unit here. You can order one unit here. No. It's going to have to be in a pack. As far as control decks, I've had my, thanks to Gary Campbell, working with my buddy, Arcade Workshop, Gary Campbell, we designed, using my standard spinner, my standard button spinner, a Lunar Lander thruster. I've had it 2 years now. So I do want to make a Lunar Lander deck with that thruster on it. I've made no secrets. We're working on a 720 controller for like one game that uses it. There'll be a deck for that. We've been working on a Paperboy controller, and there's a couple other ones still in the pipeline, including making Michael B. the Game Genie happy. My Tron stick there'll be an enhanced version at some point. So any company can't build a product and just forget it. You got to constantly create, make new, but
Yeah.
we got to do it smart too, because unlike Arcade One Up, who's making millions of dollars and spending thousands of dollars on it, we don't make that kind of money because I don't charge what people would charge for my product. My product could go for 2 or 3 times its price. I don't want to do that. So we do what we can in our budget, and that's why I have the help of like Escape Pod, Joe Sabo's Arcade Workshop, the Arcade team, which are phenomenal. I'm building our own little group of people who are very smart, great designers, great artists. That makes a great product. When you got the best in the community working with you on a product, that product's going to be special. And that's the goal of the FU line. I know Michael B hates that name, but FU couldn't have had a better name, especially today.
Well, I'll tell you, if I could put in my wish list for controllers, I would love to see a Vindicator's control deck.
Well, okay. So I'm not going to say when that's coming out, but it's in the line of controllers. You know, Battlezone 2, not Battlezone 2, Battlezone as well. Right. So I'm all about the controllers. When you're playing these games, even games like Vindicators or like Battlezone or 720, only like one game technically uses it. But if you want to play that game, you need that right controller. So,
right.
Agreed.
Yep. No, that's for sure. No, well, that's one of the reasons why I like the gate changers, you know, the fact that you can easily switch. And correct me if I'm wrong, the FU, because I can't remember, and I think we probably discussed this before, is it going to handle angles for like Hubert?
So you talk about the joystick.
Yes.
Yes. I'm not sure if we're going to make it or one of my partners are going to make it, but it's just a joystick 4-way, rotated 45 degrees. So Gary,
can't you do that with a gate changer though? What I'm saying,
you really can't. No, the joystick's got to be turned. Now, with that being said, Gary Campbell. Oh, and so we've actually had this. Just so you know, we designed that 2 or 3 years ago. I've had it sitting over here for a while. It was actually designed for. I don't want to say by who because it didn't happen. There was going to be a new version of Robotron in the arcade that was going to use 2 analog, like 4 and 9 way stay Tron controllers, but it never happened. So I have my 2 prototypes, but nothing came of it. So we actually do have that. Now I totally forgot what you asked, Glenn.
No, whether or not if you're going to do anything to handle the like Hubert.
Oh yeah. So Gary Campbell, one of the original designs of the FU was Gary had designed like a universal deck. So this one deck you could interchange and lock in different controllers. Now it was a great idea, but I didn't think it was right for an initial deck. I think people want to have a dedicated deck for that game. So I think we will offer a Gary Campbell universal interchange deck where you can take a joystick, rotate it 45 degrees, pull that out, drop in a trackball, pull that out. So that might make that an option. But the answer is yes. Qbert, this way P-Dubs will be happy because Arcade 1-Up didn't make their millions of dollars on Qbert. You could do it on the FU. And another thing I want to put out there, people were asking about this, about the speakers. So the arcade, I'm saying the II Arcade had 50 watts per channel. We're doing 25 watts per channel. But some people are concerned about the Glintendo hood and where the speakers are, could be muting them. The Viper Venom and the regular Viper support phono out, but Bluetooth out as well. So you can pump your sound on as big a stereo as you want wirelessly on the FU and not even use the internal speakers. So if anyone has any concerns about that, I mean, playing Space Invaders with really good boom, 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 or Qbert. So I'm even thinking about a knocker. So maybe if we make the deck for Qbert, we add a knocker. Just like the New Wave Toys had.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Will it work with the retro shooter? I think those need, I don't know, Glenn, maybe you know more than I do. They need LEDs for those guns, the
They
retro
do,
shooter?
yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
you would have to add LEDs to it. I know some people said, Glenn, you should add it now. I'm already so far over budget. What we're doing right now with everything, I
Well, that's
can't.
not to say that you couldn't sell a separate bezel later on that you
Oh,
just
yeah, I'm
pop right
sure.
in as
But
an
that could be
option.
even something that the buy stuff store or someone else even does for it.
Yeah.
I don't want this to be a money-making thing for me. I want the FU to have our best in the community to make things
Right.
for it as well. Like,
Well, it's also too, the problem is too, is if you get all these like sort of, I wouldn't say niche, but niche parts, multiple SKUs, it's also difficult to make money.
right. And Duke 3 Dog, you're right. Congo, but there's a few games that use that 45-degree joystick, so we would make sure that happens. But it's kind of turned into an FU sales pitch. I didn't want to do that. I really wanted to discuss more about, the arcade one-up. Now, with all things being said and done, I saw a lot of people put comments out there that as bad as they were, as good as they were, whether you hated them or loved them, there's no question that they were the first mass market home arcade that got the name out there. Now, some people say they kind of brought retro to the mainstream. I don't agree with that. I think retro is coming back anyway, regardless of them. But it definitely had its place. And sometimes when you're number one and at the top, which they were more than happy to tout that they were, they started making stupid decisions. They got arrogant. And that's how we are now on the December 11th of 2025, where on 12/12/2025, supposedly they're closing down operations, or at least part of their operations.
Right.
So, woohoo! Did I do that out loud? I'm
look,
sorry.
I was excited when Arcade One Up initially launched. I mean, they were New York based at the time. I had a conversation with Scott Backrack about working for them. I mean, ultimately that didn't pan out in the way I'd hoped at the time, and I ended up doing a lot of work with for that games for a period of time. So, and now I'm with the winning company. We're helping out wherever I can.
And I appreciate that. And that's the big difference. That's the big difference. That usually when people buy my stuff, it becomes really good word of mouth. That's really how we do it. It's word of mouth. But even when the manufacturers get it, they like it. I don't know too many people who are saying, "Oh my God, this arcade one-up or this basic fun was so damn good. You got to go out and get one." You get it because there's some nostalgia value for artwork, and that always got me. So if someone put shit on the floor with a great piece of artwork on it, you'd buy it? I'd rather sell you a blank canvas and you add the artwork that you want. And Glenn, I've told you this, and I've told it to my show before. My next goal at some point, and I've said it this way people can't say I stole their idea, is I want they make cuttable LCDs. I want the outside of the FU version 3, FU2, FU4, whatever, to have this on the outside. And when you pick your game, every piece of artwork on the side panels and the marquee and the front change with it. So
that would be bad.
It's going to be years away now because of the tariff and everything. But maybe by 2030, the FU would have that. So when you pick your game, it's going to look like Donkey Kong. So that's my ultimate goal. Exactly. An LCD wrapped arcade. That's the ultimate goal. Now, maybe the 1/6 scale Build-A-Cade may get that sooner because obviously it's 1/6 size. It's smaller. It's not a full size. But that's my ultimate goal. When I could do all that, I'll die happy. When you want to play Donkey Kong, you pick it. It's a friggin' Donkey Kong cabinet. The artwork is there. It's beautiful. It glows. You turn out the lights, you can still see it. You pick the fender, bam, it turns into fender. That's the ultimate goal. That's how I'm thinking. I'm not thinking, how can I milk you guys out of your money and get out of the market tomorrow?
Oh, God. Well, I have another question. So
Yes.
I haven't been following it as closely, but I'm curious. I know it was being worked on by Pixel-Cade. Has there been any more developments about Pixel-Cade for FU?
Oh yeah, Pixel-Cade is ready. He is all set to go. He's got the screen. The software is all set. Enhancements like making LEDs when you shoot go up and down. So our link is already set for the FU. So once people get FU in the hands, they can go right to his store, buy it, slap it right in. We have the cables right there. Just take 2 screws out, slide it in, 2 screws in, go. And the Viper will you tell it in the menu, you attach it, it downloads all the artwork, good to go. Good to
Now,
go.
what about arcade? Will we be seeing any kind of new special releases or of their OS and timed for the launch for the FU?
Yeah, so we've already been doing that. So yeah, there will be the thing is that the arcade OS is going to be universal on the board. So whatever we incorporate a feature for the FU or the 1/6 scale Build-A-Cade or the X Arcade or a couple of the products I have coming out, it'll be the same interface.
Gotcha.
So there may be options there that you can't use because the machine doesn't have, a little handheld won't have a powered rotating screen, but you could probably hit a button and like a Lynx go from this, to this, like you're playing Gauntlet. So that's the good thing. That's a really good thing about working with engineers and programmers that are on board with your vision, because you have an idea. They go, I don't know if we could do that. Then they find the way they can, and we incorporate it. That's the beautiful thing here. You don't have to worry about making a Raspberry Pi work with Batacera this or that. It's all going to be there. You can still modify it. It's like Android. We're going to set it up, but you can take it to the next level, or it can use all the features that we built in already.
And how well supported will the games be for the gate changer? So all the games that support, I know you can manually flip the screen,
Yes,
but all the games that support vertical screen, will those be pre-coded so it just does it?
we
How
will.
extensive
We will do
is
some.
arcade doing that?
We will do some, but when you launch the game, you can hit a button when you launch it, and bring up a menu, and you say, I want this game to come up in horizontal, I want this game to come vertical. So there's
so
no
you
way.
could program it so in the future it knows.
Yep, and it'll save it. There's
Gotcha,
we
cool.
could do it, but it'll take us way too long to go through those games. So,
But so like all the key ones, like your Centipede, your Donkey Kong, will probably be supported out of the gate?
all the games will be supported, but
No, I'm saying
whether or
where they'll
not they'll
just
be
do it automatically, or
predefined, some. I can't say how many. It
Gotcha.
could be 2, it could be 10, it could be 100.
right.
It's really something you just go in the game, pick it, and once you set it, it's done.
And I would imagine I at some point, builds just like for everything else, like coin ops builds, Odd Games had them for Legends. You'll probably find it on arcade, punks 3 months afterwards, where somebody's done all the work and you just probably download it and put it on an SD card.
Well, and that's another thing too. So the Viper Venom, the Arcade OS has an SD card slot. You can also connect a USB hard drive. So I'm hoping that someone will do that. I'm not going to release anything like that because that's wrong.
Yeah.
But I'd be more. I know that Bobby Vu had made a couple that he kind of prototyped. There's some changes we need to make, I think, on arcade to make our menu themes compatible with RetroPie. This way,
Well, it's also is the loading issue, because I know when there's large, huge catalogs of games, there's and you're showing the thumbnails, it slows down, at least with the current Venom. I don't know if it's ever been tried with the Venom.
Remember, the current
Viper.
Venom is a 3566 with 2 gigabytes of RAM.
But I think it was a programming issue on the arcade side from what I had read online. But
it's a little bit of everything. Of course, more horsepower is never going to hurt anything. But the Viper Venom is a 3566. Memory's in flux right now because the prices are all over the map. So
what is the memory? Where's it landed on the Venom?
Right now, I was just saying, right now, the memory price is all over the map. So until we can find out in quantity, we can get to that. Because that's an easy thing to add on at this stage.
Yeah.
So
what do you see as the minimum? For sure,
I really see it as
release it with anything less than.
Yep, it should be nothing less than what it needs, but it won't be anything more.
Good answer.
Thank you. But it has to be. We can't handicap the 3588 chipset with memory. That's the thing. So we
Right.
need to make sure that anything that's going to be running on
Yeah,
this
you
thing
want to try
has
and
that breathing room.
future-proof it.
But again, just it's like this way I understand John D. what he's going through. We're in the same boat, same time frame now with releasing. We have tariffs, we got processor prices, we have RAM prices that are really affecting everything. So, and could it run 3D? The Venom with 3588? Definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
What's over here?
Yeah, I'm just kind of scrolling through to see if we missed anything here.
I didn't want to. Actually, we're going longer than I thought. So
I'm sorry for pushing in the direction of the FU infomercial.
yeah, that's okay.
That
Michael B. be able to talk about it. I'm continuing my infomercial ways, but I did just want to at least throw my hat into the ring with what transpired today. You guys all know I have no love for the company, but I don't like anyone losing their jobs, which does suck. So hopefully that everyone found something and landed on their feet. But am I happy or am I shocked? Not at all. I knew this was going to happen with them because they weren't in it for
only a matter of time.
Yeah, they weren't in it for the right reason. They were in it here knowing people will buy it. It was a cash grab, and it was evident for a long time. And well, I'm still here. Arcade 1UP, which is now I'm going to officially call Arcade Done Up. Hashtag Arcade Done Up. GRS is still here. You're not. That's all I got to say. About you, Glenn.
Yeah, I think that 2026 is going to be. I think it's going to be the clear winner is going to be the FU. I mean, forecasting based on everything we know that's coming out. I think hands down. I know we're competing with the video games awards. I think in the retro game awards space, you're going to be the clear winner next year.
Well, I don't care so much about being the winner. I do care about people getting this and they will be happy. That's my thing. I want these people to get this put together.
That's a win.
Yeah, that to me, that's all I care about. That's all I cared about from beginning to the end. Now, of course, if we sell more and more and more, I'll be happy. Of course I will. An extra 13 cents in my pocket. I'll be happy with that. But I want you, Glenn. I want this person and that person to fire up the machine. And the friends come over and go, what the hell is this? And he's going to look and say, well, F you. Have fun. And play on this machine and see all these different decks, play some Ikari Warriors, play Star Wars, play Battlezone 720, all these things, light guns, see the screen rotate. That's what I want to see. I want to see Al Link make money. I want to see the arcade team make money. I want to see the vendors out there to sell enhancements to make money. That's all I want. I'm here for the community to build it up, and then I can probably die one day happy, I guess. That's it.
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to say right now, the reason I did the show today as well is tomorrow I have a party to go to, so I will not be able to do Kicking Old School tomorrow. So if you're here tomorrow in the future, this is your show. This is for the show for 12/12. And if you live in the U.S. and the states that have Powerball in New York, New Jersey area, it's over $1 billion, man. Why are you watching my show? Buy some tickets.
Here's the question. Other than I know you'd quit your job tomorrow, if you won $1 billion, what's the top 3 things you would do with the $1 billion?
Top 3 things I would do with the $1 billion. First thing, I would call Elon Musk because I need to get a spaceship to Mars. I'm ready to get off this rock and see how much that ticket will cost. 2, I would make sure all my family and friends were taken care of, obviously. That's an important thing. And lastly, I can probably fund a real GRS, maybe a company that can take little guys with good ideas, sort of like what the sharks are, right? The what's that show called? Shark Tank.
Shark Tank, yeah.
Do a Shark Tank, so the people like Joel and people like that can make a product and make something out of it. Maybe something like that.
Cool.
How about you? What are you going to do with $1 billion?
Well, definitely the same thing. First thing would be making sure all my bills for me and family and help out friends, stuff that all that's taken care of. Then for sure be quitting my job. love my job, but it's like, don't need it. But yeah, I would
Maybe
like
buy
to do
Hawaii
another-
or something. You know,
like
buy
to-
it.
yeah, yeah, I was gonna say take a nice vacation, and then certainly I like to do, get back into filmmaking again.
That's a good thing too. Trying to take care of people. That's a great thing as well. Before I end the show, I want to do one thing here that Mr. Clutch has been asking. Aside from the 720 control panel for the FU, what else consider making? I've said it a few times. Battlezone, definitely Qbert. God, no.
Vindicators.
What was that again?
Vindicators. 720.
Vindicators, 720. The enhancement kit for the flight yoke. And I'm open to ideas. Like, believe it or not, I was in the arcades in the early days. It was mostly
Pinball, right? You said pinball.
I am definitely planning, and I talked to the arcade team of doing pinball, and of course that would be with if you remember, the X Arcade pinball was coming out for it. We designed that, so it'll be something similar to that for the FU. Is my goal at some point. And it looks like Green Sammy threw a super chat in here. 2 women, help! Let me tell you something. If I got $1 billion, how about like 25 women at the same time? I'm going to die with a big smile on my face. Who are you kidding? Woo! 25. Glenn's alive.
So Jill's not listening to this.
Well, she might be one of the 25. She could be in there. Oh, okay. So on that note, I do want to.
Blue's going to expect bigger treats.
Exactly, Blue, sure. So on that, I do want to thank you guys for joining tonight. Glenn, I want to thank you for coming in tonight. You had the surgery today, and hope you're feeling better. But just
I'll go after this call. I'm going to go out and bleed Santa red.
There we go. So if you haven't bought your Powerball tickets, buy that. Good luck to you out there. But most of all, just remember, it's your money, and the companies only make more of something if you fund it. If you like it, fund it. If it's junk, save your money.
Yep.
And with that, I'll see you guys, not tomorrow, but I'll see you guys. What's the next one? What's our next Friday coming up here, Mr. Glenn? The 19th.
19th.
So on the 19th, we'll do the next Sears Wish Book catalog on that one.
That'll probably be the last one, because I would imagine, unless you're going to plan on doing one the day after Christmas.
Who knows? I'm not a Scrooge
last one to the
like
new
you.
year.
Maybe I will. Glenn.
You can talk about, what did you give Cole? Did he not open his laptop from last year still?
He actually finally did. I mean, it's been like 10 months. He finally did. All right, so listen, I want to wish you guys a good night. You want to keep putting stuff out in the chat? I do it on the leaving as well sometimes. But in any case, remember, tomorrow's never promised. Arcade 1-Up knows that for sure. So make sure you tell your family and friends or your fans that you love and appreciate them, because tomorrow's never promised. In fact, I got to say, my brother, right before I started the show today, a family member had just passed away in a car accident. He had a heart attack, and he crashed his car. So I might be doing that this week as well. So remember, tomorrow is never promised, people. Tell your family and friends that you love them. But in between those times, Arcade 1-Up, you're done. Game on, everyone. Bon Jovi.
Cartridges, hit reset. 8-bit dreams, can't lose that bet. Floppy disks and arcade lights. Pac-Man, Frogger, we're playing all night. Simpsons in the background, neon in the air. 80s vibes, man, we didn't care. VHS tapes, staying up too late. Saturday cartoons, can't wait to escape. Dial-ups humming, we're hacking the code. Back when everything was in upload mode. Atari, Commodore, pixels on screen. Living in the future was more than a dream. It's time to kick it old school. Turn the clocks back, break the rules. When the pixels pop and the world was cool. We're taking it back, that's how we roll and roll. It's time to kick it old school, where the beats are fresh, the tech was gold. From arcades, TV shows that ruled. You know we're kicking it old school. MTV playing our favorite jams. Moonwalking with MJ. guns and popcorn nights. We ruled the screen, living in the lights. It's time to kick it old school, turn the clocks back, break the rules. When the pixels pop and the world was cool, we're taking it back, that's how we roll, we roll. It's time to kick it old school, where the beats are fresh, the tech was gold. From arcades to TV shows that ruled, you know we're kicking it old school. Grab your joystick, the game's about to start. A high score world, now that's an art. We're cruising on hoverboards, living our dream. Old school forever, we're igniting the scene. It's time to kick it old school, turn the clocks back, break the rules. When the pixels pop and the world was cool, we're taking it back.